boys and girls, and welcome to this week's maths lesson. This week and over the next couple of weeks we're going to focus on multiplication and division. So we're learning about multiplication and division, and this week we're focusing on recalling our times tables and related division facts. So by the end of this week, I would like you to be able to draw an array for a multiplication question. Draw a multiplication question on a number line as a way of working out the answer. Write down the related multiplication and two division facts from one multiplication sum. So you're using the inverse to work out the division facts, and you're using your switchers. I'd like you to begin to be able to recall the multiplication facts from memory. It's really important we start learning our times tables now, so it's easier when we go further up the school. And also, to be successful, if you need to, you can use a multiplication square to work out the answer to a multiplication question. So what I want to have a look at is just one example question and look at the different strategies that we have for solving the answer and trying to find out the answer. And then we will have a little look at what we're up to this week. So the question that we're looking at is 6 multiplied by 3. Now 6 multiplied by 3, or 6 times 3. So the cross in the middle means multiplied or times, but it also means groups of. So 6 times 3 means 6 groups of 3. And if we use our switchers, that would mean it was 3 times 6, or 3 groups of 6. One strategy I can use to work it out is to use an array, and I'm going to show you an array here using these orange dots. So an array is a visual representation, so something you can see that helps you to work it out. So you'll see this is one group of 3, 2 groups of 3, 3 groups of 3, 4 groups of 3, 5 groups of 3, 6 groups of 3. So it's called an array. Now you could do little dots for this. You could build it using beads, using Lego to help you. It's up to you. That's just one way of working out. Now you'll notice that I did groups of 3 and I did 6 groups of 3, but I could also have done 3 groups of 6. So my line here is 1 group of 6, 2 groups of 6, 3 groups of 6. So going back to my array in groups of 3, if I now skip count, so 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18, because I'm counting each group in 3. So I skip count 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18. So 6 times 3 is 18. So 3 groups of 6 is the same as 3 times 6, and 6 groups of 3 is the same as 6 times 3. And we now know that the answer to all of these questions is 18. Now to show you the array in groups of 6, so here I've started skip counting in 6s. So 6, 12, 18. So I get the same answer. Now to have a little look at my number line at the bottom of the page. Now this is a number line that goes from 0 all the way to 20. So if I use it to help me work out my question, 6 times 3, 6 groups of 3, what I can do is I can draw my first group of 3 like this, and then my second group of 3, my third group of 3, fourth group of 3, fifth group of 3, and 6 groups of 3. So this tells me 6 groups of 3 is 18. Let's have a check and see if 3 groups of 6 works the same. So underneath my number line, I'm going to show you my groups of 6. So my first group of 6, my second group of 6, and I'm just counting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, it finishes at 18. So my third group of 6 finishes at 18. So this shows me that 3 times 6 and 6 times 3 is the same, and the answer is 18. Okay, moving on to the next slide. So 6 times 3 equals 18. That's what we've just worked out. And that means that we know 3 times 6 equals 18. Now, division is the opposite of multiplication. So if we know 18 divided by 3, we can work that out using the times table question. So if I've used up my 18 in the sum and I've used up the 3, 18 divided by 3 is going to be 6. 18 divided by 6, so 6 times what is 18? Well, 6 times 3 is 18. So division means shared by, so it's like 18 sweeties shared by 3 people. And we can use the multiplication question to help us work that out. I'm going to show you here just now. That might be represented like this. So the 18 is the answer to my multiplication question. 3 times 6 equals 18, or 6 times 3 equals 18. So that also means that 18 divided by 3 equals 6, and 18 divided by 6 equals 3. So from one times table question, you can work out the related multiplication fact and 2 division facts. So you can also use a multiplication square to help you solve a multiplication question. Now, these are all in your paper packs. Each one of you's got a copy to help you with your times tables. So this works by the numbers along the top and the numbers along the bottom. So let's go back to the question that we just did, which was 6 times 3. So I look for my 6 in the black line at the top. Okay, here's the 6. And then I look for the 3. And what I do is I move my hand down and I find where the 6 and 3 meet. So 6 and 3 meet here because the 6 goes down and the 3 comes across and they meet there. So 6 times 3 is 18. I'm going to show you one more example. Maybe you could try and work out yourself first of all by pausing the video, and then you could give it a go in the multiplication square and see if you got it right. So the example I'd like you to try is 8 times 7. So 8 groups of 7. So pause the video, have a go. Okay, if you're just back, I want you to go to the number 8 and then to the number 7, because you're working out 8 groups of 7. Your 8, you're going to go down until it meets the line, the 7 at the start. So 8 groups of 7 is 56. So in your paper packs this week, you have all got a multiplication mat that looks like this. We've spoken about an array. We've spoken about skip counting and using the loops on the number line. We've spoken about related multiplication and division facts, and we know what the question is. The only thing we've not really touched on so far is repeated addition. For repeated addition, you're using your groups of and working out. So 6 groups of 3 is 6 add 6 add 6. So adding 6 3 times. Or 3 groups of 6, which is 3 add 3 add 3 add 3 add 3 add 3. So you're adding 3 6 times. Okay? So I'm going to show you, give you a question, and I'd like you to fill in your multiplication mat, and then we'll go through this together. So the question I'd like you to try is 4 times 7, or 4 groups of 7. So I'd like you to draw something in each of your multiplication mat squares to help you solve this question. So pause the video please and come back to me when you're finished. Okay, let's have a look and see how we got on. So I've started with my repeated addition first. 4 groups of 7 means 7 add 7 add 7 add 7. Adding 7 4 times. Or 4 groups of 7 is the same as saying 7 groups of 4. So I could add my 4s 7 times instead. I might be more confident with that. So you can skip count. You could use 100 square to track your skip count and work that answer out. That's up to you. An array. So here is 1 group of 4, 2 groups of 4, 3 groups of 4, 4 groups of 4, 5 groups of 4, 6 groups of 4, and 7 groups of 4. So I know that if I'm counting in 4s, 4 would be the first line, 8, 12, 16, 20, 24, 28. That's how many blue circles there are. So that is the answer to my sum. Let's have a look at the repeated multiplication and division part of the multiplication grid. So 4 groups of 7 is 28. That's what our array told us, and that's what our repeated addition would tell us too. So we know then that 7 groups of 4 is also 28. So we've used our switchers for our multiplication questions. And then we're going to move on to our division. Remember, the division is always the answer of the multiplication goes at the start, divided by one of the numbers that you're timesing and equals the other number. So think about that triangle with the 28 at the top, and then it would be the division signs here, and then there would be a 7 and a 4. So we know 7 groups of 4 or 4 groups of 7 is 28. So 28 divided by 7 is 4, and then 28 divided by 4 is 7. As shown in the grid here. Okay, so moving on to skip counting. So if you are skip counting in 4s, you could use your repeated addition to help you. So I'm going to start in 7s up here. So 1 group of 7. So I start at 0. There's 1 group of 7. There's another group of 7. So 7 add 7 is 14. If I'm going to need 4 groups of 7 altogether, it's 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. And then I need my final group, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28. So that shows us that 4 groups of 7 is 28 because I've added 7 each time. On my bottom line, what I could do is I could start with my 0 and I could add on 4 each time. So I need 7 of those all together. So 4 once, twice, 3 times, 4 times, 5 times, 6 times, 7 times. So 4, 0 add 4 is 4. Add another 4, because I've gone up in 4 here, would be 8. Add another 4, would be 12. Add another 4, would be 16. Add another 4, would be 20. And you can use your fingers to help you with this. That's okay as well. Add another 4 would be 24. And add on my final group of 4 would be 28. So another way of showing us how to work out the multiplication question. So that is what you can use your multiplication mat for. It shows your thinking and how different strategies you can use to work out the answer to a sum. So your maths activities this week. What I'd like you all to do is to log on to TT Rockstars and complete 2 20-minute sessions. These will highlight to me what times tables you need to practice, and it will give you questions to practice quite a lot. It might give you the same question again and again and again, but that's so that your recall is really quick and it helps you with that. All maths worksheets involve recalling your multiplication and division facts. Some might ask you to draw an array, some might ask you to draw in a number line, and some might not ask you at all for either of those, and that's okay. You can use a strategy at the side of the page to help you, or if you would like to, you could use your multiplication square. If you would like a challenge, you can use it without your multiplication square and see what times tables you need to practice, because it's really important we try and get the recall nice and speedy. So let me know how you get on. I'm looking forward to seeing all your maths work this week, and good luck, boys and girls. Try your best. I know you can do it. Bye for now.